420 million years ago, the world was a canvas painted in shades of blue and green, but the land itself remained a desolate, silent expanse. Imagine continents devoid of familiar life, no towering trees, no bustling forests, and certainly no creatures with backbones. The Earth's vast terrestrial realm was a raw, untamed wilderness, patiently awaiting its first inhabitants. It was a primordial calm, an era before the roar of dinosaurs or the scurrying of mammals, a profound stillness that hinted at a biological vacuum. This quiet solitude, however, was a deceptive facade. Beneath the surface of this nascent world, an evolutionary drama was already unfolding. While vertebrates were still centuries away from making their appearance, on solid ground, an ancient, terrifying force had already begun to claim dominion over the planet's burgeoning landmasses. The stage was being set for a brutal, groundbreaking shift in the balance of life, as the first true predators prepared to step out of the oceans and onto the waiting, empty continents. This epoch belonged to the Silurian Period, a time marked by significant geological and biological changes. Shallow, sun-drenched seas teemed with early marine life, their waters covering much of the Earth's surface. Vast stretches of ancient ocean dominated the global landscape, creating an aquatic world rich in diverse organisms. Beneath these waters, life was thriving, but the land above was just beginning to stir, offering tantalizing new frontiers for adaptation and conquest. From these extensive shallow seas, small, nascent islands and coastal plains slowly began to emerge, pushing their rugged profiles above the waterline. These newly exposed landmasses represented more than just geological features, they were nascent habitats, virgin territories ripe for colonization. With their appearance came the promise of entirely new ecosystems, and, critically, the genesis of unprecedented threats as life was poised to take its monumental first steps onto terra firma. The pioneering spirit belonged to the plants, humble organisms that were the first to bravely colonize the barren land. Slowly but surely, primitive forms like mosses and early vascular plants spread across the once naked rocks, forming rudimentary, damp forests and greening the stark landscapes. Their tenacious growth transformed the inorganic into the organic, creating the foundational biomass necessary to sustain a more complex terrestrial ecosystem, laying down the very first carpet of life. Where these pioneering plants spread their roots and leaves, a crucial shift occurred. Their growth provided sustenance, shelter, and a new environment, inevitably drawing animals in their wake. Gradually, tiny, resilient creatures followed the verdant trails, cautiously venturing beyond the familiar safety of the water's edge. This slow migration marked a monumental step, the beginning of a true terrestrial food web, with the promise of both sustenance and, inevitably, predation. Among the very earliest pioneers to truly establish themselves as hunters on land were the arthropods. These extraordinary creatures, characterized by their armored bodies, jointed legs, and segmented forms, were perfectly pre-adapted for a life of terrestrial dominance. Their robust exoskeletons provided both protection and structural support, while their multi-limbed locomotion allowed for efficient movement across varied terrains. They were the original engineers of land-based predation. These early arthropods exhibited a ruthless efficiency that allowed them to quickly stake their claim as the apex predators of this nascent terrestrial world. With no competition from larger, more complex life forms, they reigned supreme, their predatory instincts honed by millions of years in the oceans. Their sheer effectiveness in hunting and survival made them formidable occupants of the Silurian shorelines, dominating an environment previously untouched by such focused, lethal intent. Among the most formidable of these ancient arthropods were the Eurypterids, often known by their more evocative moniker, sea scorpions. While their name suggests an exclusively aquatic existence, these magnificent creatures were the undisputed rulers of coastal waters during the Silurian period. Their imposing presence and predatory prowess made them the aquatic apex predators, navigating the ancient seas with a lethal grace that commanded respect and instilled fear. Some species of these formidable eurypterids attain truly monstrous proportions, growing to lengths exceeding 8 feet, a size greater than that of a full-grown human. Imagine encountering such a colossal, armored predator in the murky, shallow waters. Their sheer scale, combined with their intricate anatomy, made them the dominant force in their marine environment, a testament to the evolutionary power of the arthropod lineage. Their reign was absolute, both in and on the fringes of the water. Crucially, fossil evidence offers tantalizing clues that some of these eurypterids possessed the remarkable ability to crawl onto land, at least for temporary excursions. Their powerful, paddle-like limbs, evolved for propulsion in water, could also be repurposed to drag their heavy, armored bodies across the muddy shorelines. This was a monumental physiological adaptation, allowing them to briefly break free from the aquatic realm that had defined their existence for so long. These forays onto land, though perhaps brief and arduous, represented a critical evolutionary leap. They marked the very first steps of large, active predators onto solid ground, probing the boundaries between sea and shore. Each laborious movement of their segmented bodies across the sand was a testament to their adaptability, hinting at a future where land would no longer be a sanctuary from the ocean's dangers, but a new hunting ground. The eurypterids were built for one purpose: to kill. Their predatory arsenal included massive, formidable claws, designed for grabbing and crushing unfortunate prey with relentless force. These oversized appendages were not just for show, they were finely tuned instruments of destruction. Coupled with their efficient, segmented bodies, these claws made them perfectly adapted for the brutal mechanics of capturing and subduing struggling victims. Beyond their devastating claws, these ancient hunters possessed highly effective compound eyes, capable of detecting even the slightest movement in their immediate surroundings. This acute vision, combined with their thick, protective armor and segmented body design, rendered them truly formidable. Every aspect of their anatomy, from their sensory organs to their defensive plating, contributed to their unparalleled efficiency as predators in this nascent terrestrial environment, making them living engines of destruction. It was on these desolate, muddy shorelines, at the very edge of the ancient seas, that the first terrestrial hunts unfolded. Here, these scorpion-like monsters ambushed the earliest pioneers of land life. Unsuspecting early insects and other soft-bodied animals, having ventured ashore, suddenly found themselves in a terrifying new landscape, one that offered no escape from these formidable, relentless predators. The shore became a brutal, unforgiving stage. For these vulnerable, nascent land dwellers, the appearance of such massive and powerful predators was an unprecedented terror. Having evolved in an environment largely free from large, mobile hunters, they possessed virtually no defenses against the overwhelming might of the eurypterids. Their soft bodies and limited mobility made them easy targets, presenting a novel buffet for the newly terrestrial hunters, changing the rules of survival overnight. In this primal world, prey had never before faced such overwhelming predators on land. Consequently, there was no ingrained instinct to flee, no inherited knowledge of danger to guide their escape. Their evolutionary history had not prepared them for this new, brutal reality, leaving them utterly vulnerable and bewildered in the face of sudden, overwhelming aggression. It was a terrifying asymmetry of experience and adaptation. The result was often swift and absolute. Death came quickly and mercilessly. The eurypterids were masters of their new domain, and their victims had no time to adapt, no opportunity to evolve evasive strategies. For the earliest land animals, life on the shore meant constant, immediate peril. This era was characterized by a brutal clarity: venture too far from the water, and face an end that was as inevitable as it was terrifying. Unlike their modern scorpion cousins, these ancient hunters did not rely on venom to subdue their prey. Their method was far more direct and brutally efficient: sheer, crushing physical force. They were biological war machines, designed to overwhelm and dismantle. There was no need for toxins when raw power could achieve the same devastating effect, showcasing a different, yet equally terrifying, predatory strategy. Their primary killing tools were their massive claws and powerful, articulated limbs. These appendages were used to tear prey apart with relentless, dismembering force, quickly overwhelming any resistance. The act of predation was visceral and direct, a testament to their physical dominance. They weren't just brutal efficiency that defined the early terrestrial food chain. One of the key factors allowing these arthropods to attain such gigantic sizes was the Earth's ancient atmosphere. During the Silurian period, oxygen levels were significantly higher than they are today, providing a physiological boost that allowed invertebrates to grow to truly colossal proportions. This oxygen-rich environment fueled their metabolism and enabled the development of immense, chitinous bodies, defying modern biological constraints. This exaggerated size was not merely an impressive physical trait, it became their greatest weapon. Being significantly larger than any other terrestrial creature provided an insurmountable advantage, allowing them to dominate any potential prey or rival. Their sheer bulk and power made them unmatched hunters, transforming their immense scale into the ultimate instrument of terror and control over the nascent land. Ecosystems. Size truly mattered in this primordial world. The Silurian coastlines were often shrouded in a perpetual, eerie mist, characterized by their foggy, swamp-like environments. Low visibility was a common feature of these primordial landscapes, creating an atmosphere of mystery and danger. These dense, humid conditions limited the line of sight, transforming the shorelines into murky, indistinct realms where vision was often obscured by the heavy, damp air. These dimly lit, mist-shrouded conditions were absolutely perfect for ambush predators like the Eurypterids. Their ability to lurk unseen, blending into the blurred edges of the swampy environment, gave them a critical advantage. They could strike suddenly, emerging from the fog with terrifying speed, leaving their unsuspecting prey no time to react. The mist was their cloak, and the low visibility their hunting partner. As these powerful predators invaded the land, a fundamental shift occurred, kickstarting the first great evolutionary arms race. The mere presence of such dangerous hunters forced prey species to rapidly adapt or face extinction. This new pressure was a powerful catalyst for diversification and innovation, pushing life to evolve at an unprecedented pace, marking a critical turning point in terrestrial evolution. The adaptations in prey were swift and significant. Animals evolved faster movement to evade capture, harder exoskeletons for enhanced protection, and entirely new hiding behaviors to escape detection. This relentless pressure from predators sculpted the very forms and behaviors of early land animals, driving innovation and resilience in the face of constant, existential threat, creating a dynamic, ever-changing ecological battleground. Soon after the Eurypterids made their terrestrial forays, true scorpions began to appear in the fossil record. These new, more familiar forms represented a further evolutionary refinement, cementing the scorpion lineage's place on land. While still primitive, they built upon the predatory legacy of their sea scorpion predecessors, bringing new adaptations to the evolving terrestrial environment, solidifying their role as land-based hunters. Some of the earliest species of these true scorpions may have lived both in water and on land, representing a transitional phase in their evolution. This amphibious lifestyle allowed them to exploit resources from both realms, providing a crucial bridge between fully aquatic and fully terrestrial existences. They were truly pioneers, embodying the ongoing evolutionary journey from sea to shore, carrying the torch of arthropod predation. The presence of these formidable land predators profoundly transformed the entire terrestrial ecosystem. Fear, a potent evolutionary driver, began to shape the very fabric of life on Earth. Animals that could detect danger, react quickly, or hide effectively were the ones that survived and passed on their genes, leading to a rapid acceleration of adaptive traits across the landscape. Survival in this new, dangerous world now required constant awareness, a perpetual state of vigilance. The luxury of blissful ignorance was over. Every rustle, every shadow, could signal impending doom. This ingrained fear and the need for heightened sensory perception became fundamental to the continued existence of terrestrial life, ensuring that the age of bones would be an age of constant watchfulness. However, the reign of the giant arthropods was not destined to last forever. As millions of years passed, new challenges emerged from the waters. Vertebrates, with their internal skeletons and increasingly complex nervous systems, slowly began exploring the land, initiating a gradual but inexorable shift in the balance of power. This marked the beginning of the end for the unchallenged dominance of the massive arthropods. As these more advanced terrestrial vertebrates evolved and diversified, the dominance of the giant arthropods slowly but surely declined. The advantages of their internal skeletons and more efficient respiration systems gave vertebrates an edge, allowing them to grow larger and become more agile. The era of the colossal invertebrate predator was fading, giving way to a new, bone-backed lineage of land rulers. Once the undisputed rulers of the ancient shorelines, these magnificent scorpion-like monsters found their territories encroached upon. With the rise of vertebrates, they were eventually pushed back, their evolutionary path taking them either back into the dwindling aquatic environments or, for many species, tragically towards extinction. Their golden age on land drew to a close, yielding to a new chapter of life. Their colossal forms, once symbols of unmatched power, became mere ghosts in the paleontological record. While their impact was immense, their memory faded over geological time, unlike the enduring legacy of dinosaurs. The narrative of Earth's earliest land terrors often overlooks these arthropod giants, focusing instead on later, more charismatic megafauna, leaving their incredible story largely untold. Indeed, unlike the universally recognized dinosaurs or mighty mammals, these extraordinary creatures have left little trace in popular memory or cultural consciousness. Yet, their contribution to Earth's history is undeniable. They were, without question, among Earth's very first land terrors, laying the foundational blueprint for all subsequent terrestrial predation and shaping the evolutionary landscape for eons to come. The moment these formidable predators hunted on land, the planet changed forever. It was a pivotal, irreversible turning point in the history of life. The terrestrial realm, once a refuge, became a battleground, forever marked by the struggle between predator and prey. This introduction of large-scale violence onto dry land fundamentally altered evolutionary trajectories and reshaped entire ecosystems. This was the first true taste of land violence, a brutal awakening for the fledgling terrestrial ecosystems. It established a fundamental dynamic that continues to drive evolution to this day. The fear, the chase, the brutal efficiency of the hunter, all began with these ancient, armored giants. They inaugurated an era where survival on land demanded constant vigilance, strength, and cunning. Million years ago, before the age of bones, before the rise of dinosaurs and mammals, it was a time when giant, scorpion-like monsters truly ruled the shore. They were the undisputed kings of the primal coastlines, their armored bodies and crushing claws defining the very meaning of fear and predation on land. These ancient giants were the first to prove, unequivocally, that the land could be just as deadly, just as unforgiving, and just as terrifying as the deepest, most dangerous oceans. Their legacy is etched into the very blueprint of terrestrial life, a testament to the brutal, beautiful, and relentless power of evolution. They were the original terrors, forging a world where every step on land was a gamble against an unseen, formidable threat. Their pioneering, predatory lifestyle irrevocably shaped the evolutionary path of all subsequent terrestrial life, establishing the fundamental principles of predation and defense that still resonate today. The silent continent had found its voice, a chilling chorus of crunching exoskeletons and the frantic scurry of prey, forever transforming Earth into a dynamic arena where life and death danced in a perpetual, primal ballet.